Have you ever wondered what secrets might be hiding right beneath your feet? In a quiet town in Indiana, a construction crew was about to uncover a chilling secret, one that had been buried for decades under the innocent laughter of children. It all started during a routine renovation project at an elementary school. The plan was to expand the playground, giving the kids more space to run and play. As the heavy machinery dug into the earth, it hit something solid. Not a rock, not a pipe, but a large, flat, concrete slab. Intrigued, the crew cleared the dirt away and found a sealed hatch, old and rusted, with no markings to indicate what it was for. This wasn't on any of the school's blueprints. Driven by curiosity, they pried it open. A ruse of cold, musty air hit them, carrying a faint, sweet smell, like old paper in decay. Peering down into the darkness, they saw a narrow tunnel, just tall enough for a small child to stand in. It was completely dark. They grabbed their flashlights and descended, the beams cutting through the oppressive blackness. What they found inside made their blood run cold. The tunnel stretched for about 50 feet before ending in a solid brick wall. But it was the contents of the tunnel that were so disturbing. Scattered across the dusty floor were relics from another time. A single worn-out leather shoe, a rusted toy car, and a small, faded teddy bear with one button eye missing. It was as if a child had just dropped them and walked away. Then they shone their lights on the walls. The rough concrete was covered in small, dark smudges. As they looked closer, a horrifying realization dawned on them. They were handprints. Dozens and dozens of tiny, childlike handprints pressed into the concrete as if someone was trying to push their way out. The prints overlapped, creating a chaotic, desperate pattern that covered nearly every inch of the tunnel's surface. A deep sense of unease settled over the crew. This wasn't just a forgotten utility tunnel. It felt like a tomb. Disturbed, the construction foreman contacted the town's historical society. He needed to know what this place was. An elderly archivist searched through old records, her fingers tracing the faded lines of town history. She found something that sent a shiver down her spine. The school hadn't always been there. The original building, which stood on the exact same spot, had burned to the ground in a catastrophic fire in 1958. The fire had started in the middle of the school day. Panic erupted as smoke and flames engulfed the old wooden structure. While most were able to escape, a class of 20 children, who had been in the basement for a special art project, were trapped. The fire department arrived too late. 20 young lives were lost that day, a tragedy that scarred the town for generations. The school was later rebuilt, but the memory of the fire lingered. The archivist looked at the foreman, her eyes filled with sorrow. There was never any record of a tunnel, she said, her voice barely a whisper. The blueprints from that time show nothing. It's as if it never existed. The pieces started to fall into place, forming a terrifying picture. Was it possible that children had tried to dig their way out during the fire, creating this hidden passage in a desperate bid for survival? Were these handprints their last, frantic marks on the world? The thought was too horrific to contemplate. With no official explanation and a growing sense of dread, the school board made a decision. The tunnel was a grim reminder of a past tragedy, and it needed to be sealed permanently. They couldn't risk a student finding it. The construction crew was ordered to pour concrete back into the hatch, burying the secret once more. As the last of the wet cement was being smoothed over, one of the workers, a young man who had been the first to enter the tunnel, knelt down to finish the job. He placed his hand on the drying surface, a silent gesture of respect for what lay beneath. And that's when it happened. From deep within the earth, from inside the freshly sealed tunnel, came a sound. Asterisk, knock, knock, asterisk. It was fine, but unmistakable. Someone was knocking back. The worker froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked at his colleagues, their faces pale with disbelief. Had they all heard it? The silence that followed was heavier than the concrete they had just poured. They didn't speak. They just packed their tools and left, never looking back. Today, children still play on that playground, their laughter echoing over the spot where the tunnel lies sealed. They run and swing, completely unaware of the dark secret buried just a few feet beneath them. And sometimes, when the playground is quiet, and the sun begins to set. Some say you can feel a faint vibration in the ground, a rhythmic, muffled sound, like a small hand knocking from below, forever waiting for an answer. Thanks for joining me on this chilling journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another mystery. See you next time.